And then Southampton 1, Newcastle 1. We've reached half-time at St Mary's at Southampton 1, Newcastle United 1. The Saints took the lead on the 25th minute. A close-range header from Stuart Armstrong after there was a bit of a scramble inside Newcastle's 6-yard box. Newcastle hit back, though. Well, it's a very warm welcome along to our unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this Premier League encounter then at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Newcastle 1 at the break. Then it was the Saints that opened the scoring on the 25th minute. Stuart Armstrong heading in from close range. And then 7 minutes later, Chris Wood levelled the scores for Newcastle. His first goal for the Magpies since joining in January from Burnley on the 32nd minute. Then a header from a lovely cross from the left-hand side from John Joe Shelvey. We're back underway then for this second half. Southampton in their red and white stripes and their black shorts and the white socks going from left to right. Newcastle in their change kit of the aqua I'm still going for in the opposite direction. It doesn't look like there's been any changes made by either manager. It's as you were. Forster in goal for Southampton, Walker-Peters, Salisu, Bednarek and Livramento at the back, El Yunusi, Romeo, Ward-Prowse and Armstrong in midfield, with Brohauer and Adams as a top two. As for Newcastle, Dubravka in goal, Target, Byrne, Scher and Kraft, Guimarães, Willock and Shelvey, Fraser, Wood and Murphy, who is the only player that has been booked in this game so far. It's myself, James Mason and Paul Szczerbakowicz with you once again for the second half. And out of the two teams, Newcastle would have been the happy you would feel, the fact that they were level and they were scrambling a bit towards the end of the first half.
They were, yeah. The last 10 minutes, Southampton pretty much had around 80% possession, and it was very difficult for Newcastle to do anything other than just try and stopping them getting forward. So it's important now for Newcastle to come out with a little bit more intent in the second half, because they showed in the first half that when they actually got the game by the scruff, they could push Southampton back. Yeah,
they could indeed. Half-time, by the way, in the fourth and final game in the Premier League this evening. Leeds 0, Aston Villa 1. That is at the break. The other two games alongside this one in the Premier League that have kicked off for the second half: Norwich 0, Chelsea 2 and Wolves 3, Watford 0. So goals are plenty this evening. What is a busy midweek and then the weekend of Premier League action. Also there's Europa League and Europa Conference League games going on. Leicester in action there, 1-0 up at home against Rennes in the Europa Conference League. And in the Europa League, Rangers are 2-0 up at home against Crvena Zvezda, or Red Star Belgrade, however you know them by. But in our game, just a couple of minutes gone in the second half, still 1-1. Romeo, though, gets a nice ball in field then. And now he sprays it out towards his right side. Space for Armstrong now as he brings the ball down. He's looking for the man ahead of him, but he whips it in towards the far post instead, and the head goes up there. Still a bit of danger. Fraser tries to get his head to that one. Sort of the high boot comes in from Livramento, but nothing given in terms of a free kick. Newcastle trying to play the ball out from the back, and they've given it away cheaply. Now it is with the number 8 then, a Ward-Prowse. He exchanges passes with Livramento, but Newcastle have forced Southampton back towards the halfway line. Well, they look to start again, but that was a decent ball in from Armstrong from the right.
It was. In an ideal world, Broha would have been able to sort of jump and attack that. He was almost sort of jumping upright just to get on the end of it. Here come Southampton again, though, with Walker-Peters, who really was the problem for Newcastle in the first half. His cross deflects off Kraft, and it's away for a corner.
Yeah, Kraft had a bit of a torrid time in that first half. Murphy was dropping back to help him on several occasions, which was okay, but in terms of when the ball was cleared upfield, there was no one in that right sort of attacking position for Newcastle, which Murphy's been operating in, so the ball just kept coming back. Corner kick though for Southampton, whipped in, and it's a good looking one as well. Dubravka comes off his line, but Byrne gets his head to it first. It's headed back towards Ward-Prowse, the corner kick taker. He then gets it back from his teammate number 17 Armstrong. It deflects off the Newcastle man though, Bruno Guimarães, and goes out for a throw. He seems to have recovered, Guimarães, from whatever that knock was he got in the first half.
Well, knock, or just a slight moment of it just felt a little bit pasty, but now I thought there was another injury there because Armstrong was leaving. Well, that's only because Salisu going to launch a long throw into the box. Same with Fabian Scher. He went down twice with what looked like a muscle strain, but he's okay to play on.
Yes, a few players just maybe feeling the effects of a busy season so far, but Salisu then with the long throw into the box. It's a flat delivery. It's headed away by Byrne towards the edge of the box. Now Guimarães gets a little flick on the head, finds Fraser. Fraser then tries to volley it over the top looking for Willock, but too heavy is the volley. It's easily mopped up, and Southampton have it back now with Forster. Plays a long ball forward with his left boot then. It's a little bit too heavy, that one. It should be dealt with by Kraft, but he turns and just knocks it out for a throw. I think in terms of rugby union, that was a good long punt upfield for a bit of territory.
It was, absolutely, yeah, taking a quick line out as well just to try and keep the ball in motion, but Newcastle have been able to win it back.
Yeah, Newcastle, you'd feel they need to get a bit more of a grip of that midfield battle. I think they lost it really on quite a few occasions that first half. I think Romeo played really well in there. And they just... not really that they got overrun, because there's 3 midfielders in there for Newcastle compared to Romeo and Ward-Prowse in that midfield centre role, but it felt like Southampton always had an extra body.
It's because I think Bednarik and Salisu were stepping forward almost as additional midfielders. They had the players out wide as well, and it's just Southampton are managing their possession very well at the moment in terms of keeping the ball, but just needing that end product to actually get the ball into the box.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse tries to play one down the right side for Armstrong. He sort of half brings it down, and then there's a nudge by Fraser, gets nudged off the ball, then falls into Armstrong, who then toe pokes it out, and it's a Newcastle goal kick.
It's unfortunate that for Armstrong, because Fraser, just about within the rules, bumps into Armstrong there to try and put him off his stride. Fraser then is completely out of the game, so if Armstrong could have controlled it, then he would have had a free run into the box. But the ball in the end goes away for a goal kick. But this is a nice touch. Joe Linton not able to be in the team this evening, but he has made the long trip down.
Yeah, I think it's about 693 mile round trip, I think it is.
I'm assuming they would have flown, the Newcastle team.
Yeah, you would expect so, probably flown there. But for the Newcastle travelling fans, I think they probably would have got the bus or the train down very early in the morning.
Yesterday,
I say bus, coach probably would have.
Absolutely. It's a long old trip, though. It's a great ground. St Mary's been there a couple of times as an away fan. It's, as I say, but it is obviously for someone heading from the northeast. It's a long way to go on a Thursday night. It will be early Friday morning by the time those fans make it back to the northeast. But so far, they would have been pleased at times, but just a little bit concerned because Newcastle, 6 minutes into the second half, still haven't really been able to get into possession.
No, they haven't. You maybe wonder if Eddie Howe is just going to monitor things. Maybe at the hour mark, if he's not happy, maybe switches it up. The only issue he's got is there's not a whole lot of options he's got on the bench really to try and maybe have an impact. Longstaff is a willing runner. You've got Miguel Almiron, again, a willing runner. But apart from that, there's no St. Maximin as the Newcastle have a ball into the penalty area. It's deflected away. Now a shot comes in and it smacks off. I think it's Salisu there who's got in the way, behind for a corner. Murphy saying it's hit the arm. I think that's ambitious, but they get a corner. Well,
he's asking the question quite aggressively there, Murphy. He thinks it's obvious that there's a handball. Let's just see as this ball drops to him. I'm not sure.
Tucked in at the side.
I think his arm's tucked away in any case. There's no effort to try and stop the ball, but it's a good opportunity here from the set piece.
Yeah, it's El Yunusi he turns his back into it. He turns away from it, but he's got the arm, really both of his arms tucked into the side, so never a handball. May have hit the hand, but wouldn't have been a handball. But a corner chance, like you said, left-footed in, swinging delivery towards the far post. Burn nods it back across goal, and then a lovely back heel finish into the back of the net by Bruno Guimarães on his full debut for Newcastle. Has given the Magpies a 2-1 lead. Well, what a little bit of inventiveness that was.
Absolutely. He's had a few problems in terms of playing the square ball. He's had a few problems in terms of doing his defensive work, but getting forward there, Bruno Guimarães with his first goal for Newcastle on his first league start. And it's a really lovely finish as well. Starts off with a good corner kick, whipped in towards the back post, and then Southampton just don't deal with it.
Yeah, they don't deal with it. I have to say, Dan Burn, really good at the far post. He gets up, he nods it back across the 6-yard box. He thinks, I'm not going to be able to score, get it back in the danger area. And Bruno Guimarães, like I said, it's inventive from him. I tell you what, that finish looks better and better every time we see it. So the ball gets nodded back across, edge of the 6-yard box. He's got his back towards goal. He raises up his right leg and then just flicks it with the outside of his right foot back towards goal. It's a brilliant finish.
What I like about it is the fact that it looks like he's just swinging his back heel at it, hoping for the best, but he knows exactly what he's doing there. He is trying to redirect that cross with his back heel, putting some power into it and getting it just over the dive of Fraser Forster. It's a lovely goal from Bruno Guimarães, and Newcastle in front inside the first 8 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, well, that is what I think Newcastle fans will be happy to see. And Newcastle coming forward again, actually, straight away from the restart. Now it's down the right-hand side. Willock tries to square it for Shelvey with his right foot. He misses it. Falls now to Murphy. Tries to bring it down in the box. Then twisting and turning. Still has it. Lifts it towards the far post. Header from Guimarães. Then is down straight into the Southampton player. Shot comes in from the edge of the box from target. That one's blocked away eventually. And dearie me, what are Southampton doing? They've given possession away again. Newcastle once more. It's with Guimarães out towards the right side for Murphy. Edge of the box. Low ball in. Takes a deflection. And it's behind for another corner.
Well, Southampton all at sea here. They lose the ball seconds after the kickoff, and Newcastle straight away on the attack. If anything, Eddie Howe might be slightly frustrated they haven't scored a third here.
Yeah, Shelvey just fluffs his lines. He swings his right foot. I think before the ball's really got there, he sort of swings over it, and it's a poor attempted finish from Shelvey. But Murphy actually did really well when the ball came back towards him. Guimarães' header hits Livramento, sort of jumps up. Target has a shot. Salisi was in the way of that one. There was a lot going on in a short space of time there. We didn't even see the restart from Southampton. We just saw Newcastle attacking down the right.
Absolutely, it happened that quickly. The TV pictures we were getting, the kickoff went in, and they lost the ball straight away. Here comes another corner.
Yeah, again high towards the far post. Then Byrne wins his header again. It's brought down there. Maybe a chance for Cher. Forster comes out and gets a right foot at that one, and it's nodded back by Fraser, and that'll be a goal kick for Southampton.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It worked for the goal for Newcastle a couple of moments ago, so why not whip another ball towards the back post for Big Dan Byrne? Again, it's headed down. Very close to a third goal there for Newcastle.
So close. It was Fabian Cher who was just trying to get on the end of that ball. That bounced down, but Fraser forced it just enough. I mean, I have to say, maybe Cher pulls away from it a little bit because he's got the large right boot of Fraser Forster coming towards him.
Yes, that's true. And so that even though players are brave in that situation, there's always going to be that split second of protect your body before you think about going for the ball, and that might have just put pay to it. But this is a warning for Southampton that they need to step up in this game. They started well in the second half, first 5-6 minutes, barely allowing Newcastle to get forward, but now they're really under the cosh.
Yeah, indeed. And Newcastle got the bit between the teeth. They're coming forward once again. It's now with Emil Kraft down this right side, just over halfway. Now it's in field towards Guimarães. He switches the play out towards this left side where Target picks up possession. Good first touch. Now he delivers one towards the far post. Should be caught by Forster, and it is. That's a little bit too close towards the keeper there from Target, the man on loan from Aston Villa, who I think really, if things go to plan, Newcastle would probably buy him permanently unless the sort of the calibre, or calibre are harsh, but maybe the type of player they're after, in terms of more expensive they go for. But
well, it's
done well.
I think he has done well. I think he's a solid Premier League left back. I mean, I suppose if you were to play top trumps between him and Luca Dean at Aston Villa, Dean probably just edges it because of his attacking ability. Although saying that, Target can put an excellent ball into the box as well. I think it just depends. As you say, Newcastle have to be careful with who they sign because the whole world knows that they're a wealthy club now. So dare I say, every transfer fee is going to be that little bit higher for Newcastle anyway.
Yeah, you think that it could be a good bit of business for Target. I don't think he'll break the bank really with Newcastle now one of the richest clubs in the world, but I suppose financial fair play will stop them just going and writing blank cheques and saying, what do you want for a player?
You've got to be careful. Everton a few years ago seemed to be a club that were rolling in money, and now we're hearing that they could potentially be facing a points deduction with their debt over the last 3 years exceeding what is allowed in the fair play rules.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with the Russian situation at the minute. I think Usmanov has put his name to quite a lot of stuff with Everton, as there's a chance now for Southampton. The ball straight through the middle of Newcastle defence. They're in the air, just can't bring it down, Canel Yunusi, and it's into the grateful arms of Dubravka. But there's a few times this evening Southampton have done that, some clever little runs. The ball just hasn't quite been there.
No, it hasn't, no, and that was a good idea to at least try something different because possession in midfield just hasn't worked out for Southampton. Trying a long ball over the top, almost finding its target.
Yeah, it was a long ball downfield then by Dubravka. Wood just sort of lets that one dip under his head, but Fraser can't get on the end of it. Bounces out for a throw for Southampton. 58 minutes gone now just about in this game. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. A goal from Bruno Guimarães on his full debut. The 53rd minute has given Newcastle a 2-1 lead. It could be, it is at the minute, a comeback victory, and again it would show really good resolve and determination from Newcastle.
It would do. It would show that they really are turning a corner and they're becoming a side who are less worrying about relegation and more thinking about securing as high a mid-table position as possible. A win for Newcastle tonight puts them on 31 points, which would put them 10 points clear of Burnley, albeit Burnley would have a game in hand, but that's already a big difference, I think, for Newcastle.
Yeah, no, it is. I think having so many teams in between themselves and 18th as well just gives them that little bit of a reprieve. As Southampton now down this left-hand side trying to create something. Adams has been kept pretty quiet in the second half. Now it's Romeu back out to Adams, who's just in off that left touch line. Does well there, gets past one sort of weak challenge from Guimarães. Now it's with Armstrong across to Ward-Prowse. Now it's with Livramento down this right-hand side. Goes back in field towards his skipper, who just looks up. And I have to say, one player that has been quite quiet this evening in open play is Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, he has. He's had a couple of good balls into the box, but for someone who is normally such a dominant figure in that Saints midfield, we're sort of mentioning Romeo a lot more, really, aren't we?
Yeah, Romeo's, I think he's done really well, actually. He's held that position well. He's nipped in and won the ball. He's sprayed it around. He's got his side going. But as things stand, Southampton are trailing by 2-1 at home against Newcastle. Back on the halfway line, Southampton have possession now. It's with Bednarek. Looking up for options, going left and right. Goes back to his left to find Salisu. Now it's with Romeo. Romeo then again looking up. Newcastle trying to plug the gaps, but Southampton have managed to work it close towards the edge of the penalty area. But again, that final ball into the box is too heavy, and Target just ushers that one towards Dubravka.
Yeah, straight through to Dubravka. It's just a little bit disjointed for Southampton. It's almost like they're trying too hard, too quickly to try and get something going. And we can see Ralph Hasenhüttl gesturing towards the touchline, so he's thinking about a change here as Newcastle go down the left-hand side.
Yeah, Fraser showing good pace to get on the end of that ball just before it goes out of play. Just keeps it in. Livramento gets a foot in. And is it going Newcastle's way or Southampton's way? It's going to go Newcastle's way.
Yeah, Livramento auditioning for a part in a soap, I think, with those acting skills. But it clearly, I think, came off him. And I think he knew that as well. He was just hoping perhaps maybe the reaction of the home crowd might just sway the official's mind there.
Yeah, throw-in chance for Newcastle then with Target. Few players making runs. If Fraser comes short for him, gives it back towards Target. Fraser on the overlap, then towards the byline. First time cross in towards the far post, and it can't meet the head of Chris Wood, and it's forced to, plucks it out the air. Then he goes for a long ball downfield to try and get Southampton quickly away. It's just been volleyed back towards halfway by Szczerb. Be picked up by Armstrong. Now Murphy trying to get him, puts good pressure on, but it'll be a throw-in to Southampton. Murphy, again, he's trying to audition now, saying that was a Newcastle throw, but it's not. It goes towards Southampton. But Eddie Howe can be pleased with the response and reaction from his team. As things stand, Newcastle will be going 9 games unbeaten in the league. Adam Armstrong, shots of him on the bench now. Will he come on and haunt his old club?
Well, I mean, that's what he'll be hoping for, as indeed will Hasenhüttl, but I'm not sure that it's up front where Southampton have got their problems. They need to do something just to spark a bit of life into their midfield. Yeah,
just trying to look at the options they could potentially bring on. I mean, Gineppo's a lively player, isn't he? He's creative, pacey, maybe to come on.
Diallo, but again, Diallo's more of a defensive midfielder, really, but perhaps just a little bit more something solid. Potentially to bring on maybe Shane Long to allow him to perhaps to join into the attack. But as I say, he doesn't really have that many midfield options on the bench. Does this Hasenhüttl? He's still missing a couple of players as well.
Yeah, maybe say a change in shape, formation for Southampton potentially. Maybe go like for like against Newcastle, a 4-3-3. That would allow Armstrong to come on, play alongside Broha and Adams, and might just open the game up a little bit for them. But Shelvey with a good bit of work to pick up possession midway through his own half. Now it's with Target, tries to play it down the line for Fraser. That's easily intercepted though by Livramento, and now Ward-Prowse has it as he turns. Now he finds Livramento, who's gone ahead of him down this right hand side. He's up against Target at the moment. Then Livramento onto his right foot, tries to get room for a cross. Target is facing up against him so far. Ball played towards the edge of the box now for Armstrong. Now Romeo then delivers one into the box towards the far post. Adams gets a good volley back towards Armstrong. He can't bring it down in the area. Newcastle throwing legs at this one. It's cleared away towards around 30 plus yards out. Walker-Peters has it. Romeo has to go back towards halfway. And Newcastle have just done just enough to scramble it away.
Just wouldn't sit up for Southampton in the box, would it? A couple of times where it looked like it might just drop to the player, but it just couldn't quite get a shot away. Newcastle eventually able to clear their lines.
Yeah, there was a few sort of moments there where Armstrong had it, the little bump from behind. You thought, don't put too much of a fierce challenge in, because any contact, usually the opposition player will go down. As Livramento has it down this right-hand side of the field, goes just short inside towards Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse then finds Romeo, and at the moment Newcastle just happy to sit in and just allow Southampton to play the ball around just inside Newcastle's half. It's Salisu now who will come forward. Chris Wood doesn't put much pressure on him. It's with Walker-Peters. He then has to go back towards halfway where he finds Bednarek. Now it's with Romeo. And this is a bit of Newcastle saying to Southampton, right, if you want to try and get past us, you're going to have to do something special, and they nearly do there. The ball breaks towards Armstrong. It's Livramento nearly on the end of a little 1-2 there with Adams, but Newcastle nip in and win the ball on the edge of their own box, and maybe a chance for a quick counter-attack. Now Guimarães, nice little ball, plays a 1-2 then with Wood, still brings it up towards the halfway line. Romeo comes in and slide challenge there. Shelvey then nips in and wins it back. Now it's Fraser, Willett, Guimarães, nice little crisp passing, but Guimarães has challenged really well, and now Southampton trying to come forward themselves. It is with El Yunusi. El Yunusi then turns away from Shelvey. El Yunusi then around 25 yards out finds Armstrong on the edge of the box, then tries to get a shot away. It's blocked by Byrne. Fraser now has it. And at the moment, Newcastle doing just enough to get some blocks in.
They are. They're again overcomplicating things and playing out from the back. A little attempted flick on there from Guimarães was a little bit unnecessary before a cross comes in from the right-hand side. It's overhit, and that is out for a goal kick to Newcastle. But Southampton are stepping it up, still lacking that killer ball, though. Yeah,
it's nice, neat play. It's good on the eye from Southampton at the moment, but it's just breaking down. That last pass, that killer delivery into the box, or the control, if they get the pass right, just isn't quite there. Hassan Ertel is doing his nutting on the sidelines. He's gone and sat down now. And is this Fabian Schär down again? No, it's Guimarães down now for Newcastle for the second time. And
bit of a language barrier there. He's got
cramp maybe
in his left leg, although his teammate was holding it by his right leg initially. Guimarães there just in a little bit of pain. Referee Kevin Friend just checking on him as well. But this gives us another opportunity to see what a great goal he scored here. He's just on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's very quick reaction and it's very purposeful as well from Guimarães.
It's a brilliant finish, it really is. I mean, some may question Fraser Forster, but no one's expecting that little back heel from Guimarães with so much power as well. I know he's only 6 yards out, but he's got good contact on that one. I'm sure Guimarães is probably going to go off here.
Yeah, he's going to have to. I don't think he's going to be able to play on. He's sat down for a long time. You would think that Sean Longstaff would be the sort of the like-for-like swap. Matt Ritchie, more of a wide player, but has been known to play in central midfield if he needs to. And of course, Schär can play in central midfield with somebody like Lascelles coming on in defence. So there are a few options, but it looks like he's going to be Longstaff.
Yeah, you just got to think this is for Guimarães. It's still adapting to the Premier League pace, and he's not had a full 90, or he's not started a game since he's arrived at Newcastle until today. I don't know the last time he started for Lyon before he came over to Newcastle in January, but it's just a bit of match fitness he's lacking, you'd say.
Yeah, I think so. It does take a little bit of time, doesn't it? You look at Christian Eriksen. Brentford signed him towards the end of January, and it was pretty much the first couple of days of March where he got his first start. Just needed to get back into some sort of fitness. But yeah, absolutely. His last game for Lyon, you asked, was back in sort of early January, but he say it does take a little bit of time. He was away with Brazil as well, which always takes a little bit of time, but he's off the field now, and at least he's walking, but he still seems to be in a bit of pain. Yeah,
wincing a little bit, but his goal for Newcastle could turn out to be the difference. At the minute, it's got Newcastle 2-1 ahead as Sean Longstaff does come onto the field of play. Again, a strange player, Longstaff. He was billed so highly a couple of seasons ago. There was rumours he was going to go to Man United with £50 million, and then he sort of dropped off a bit. I think his contract expires in the summer, and no sort of talks about renewing.
Wasn't it his younger brother that had a contract issue as well?
Matty Longstaff, yeah. So he went on loan. He was going to go on loan to Udinese, I think it was, or Torino, and eventually went to a Scottish side, and now he's back at Newcastle, having not worked out in that loan in the first half of the season. So both the Longstaffs are with some contract issues. As Newcastle trying to come forward down the right-hand side, as Murphy gets the ball then ahead of Salis, who tries to go past him. That's really good strength by the Southampton centre-back. Not said many good things about him in this game, but that was good. And then Kraft jumping into a challenge then against El Yunusi, and Kraft is adjudged to have made the foul there. I think that's a bit harsh.
A little bit harsh, and Kraft seems to be a bit injured there as well, as he's hit the deck holding his right knee. Can tell you that Norwich have got a goal back at Carrow Road. Timu Pukki from the penalty spot has made it Norwich 1, Chelsea 2. So Norwich with half a chance there. It's still 3-0 to Wolves against Watford, and they are up. They're underway in the second half. Ellen Road Leeds still trailing Villa by a goal to 0.
Just seeing the replays of that. Actually, Kraft tries to kick the ball and misses it, and then he just jumps full pelt into El Yunusi. So maybe rightfully that one was given as a free kick. It wasn't fantastic from the Sweden international. But we've gone past the midway point of this second half. Just about 68 minutes gone. It's Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Paul will take you through the full time.
Thank you very much, James. Yeah, free kick to Southampton, just at the edge of their own penalty area. It's going to be Mohamed Salisu to take this one after Fraser Forster left it for him. So Sean Longstaff is on for Bruno Guimarães. No changes yet for Southampton. But you just get the feeling that they need to try and do something to either wake up their attack or their midfield. Still have plenty of time, of course, to not just level this game, but to go on to try and win it. But they actually have to try and just get a bit more control. As Stuart Armstrong now in the centre circle for the Saints, rolls it towards Livramento down the right-hand side. His ball for Broja isn't a bad one at all, and he needs a strong challenge in the end there from Dan Burn. Broja hasn't really got into the game very much today, has he?
No, he's not, but he's deceptively strong, Broja, isn't he? He's a little bit gangly at times, but I think Dan Burn thinks he's got the better of him, and Broha goes back at him, but that's a really good, strong challenge from Burn. That's one to let the striker know, right, if you try to go past me, I'm going to hit you hard here.
Absolutely, yeah. Back in the day, where left backs, right backs were allowed to punt the winger in the first couple of minutes just to let him know. That kind of thing's been outlawed now, of course. But out-swinging corner here from Ward-Prowse, headed up in the air inside the 6-yard box, and the header from Dan Burn, the big man, was actually being fouled as he made that header there, according to the referee. So it will be a free kick to Newcastle. But Broha, of course, Chelsea youth product, has elected to play for his parents' Albania. Yeah, I've seen him actually play for the Albanian national team. He came off the bench in a game against Poland, but he's a player that's, as I say, it's interesting to see whether or not he has got long-term Premier League future, because certainly, as you said, he's strong, he's quick, just a case of whether he can get enough goals. Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks like the part at the moment. Obviously not the finished article. He needs, just to work. He needs good coaching, I think, but importantly, he just needs games, which he's getting at Southampton. But will he get that at Chelsea? I don't know. I think there's too much uncertainty over the club at the minute, whether Tuchel may be in charge or not. New owners come in, what they're going to do with potentially youth players. Chelsea, of course, used to have a whole unit of coaches in charge of just managing their loan players. Ironically now, all those young loan players may end up making up half the squad, because, of course, it's still very early yet, and don't know exactly how it's going to play. It's the first time certainly I can remember anything like this in English football, where a club have been told that they can stay in business, but they can't sign players, they can't sell merchandise, they can't sell any more tickets. Season tickets are allowed at Stamford Bridge, but for the time being at least, no away fans and no fans buying sort of single match tickets will be allowed. In theory, even the club shop might not even be allowed to be in business. So it's a very complicated situation. Excuse me, and hopefully one that can be resolved fairly quickly. But back here at St Mary's, under 20 minutes to go now, 71 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary, and finally the ball breaks in for Shea Adams down the right-hand side. His cross, it was a good one as well. Broha was waiting in the box, but that's good play. John Joe Shelvey clears his lines only as far as Livramento. Here comes Ward-Prowse now, back to Tino Livramento. Square to Romeu. Now it's with Salisu striding forward, finding a ball towards the edge of the area, flicked on by Adams, doesn't quite find its man though, but the loose ball back into Southampton possession. Armstrong's ball toward Prowse, that's well read, and it's cleared back into midfield, and now potentially a chance for a counter-attack as Willock's away, Bednarek bumps into him. And I don't think the Polish international's got a leg to stand on here. He's going to get booked. That was superb work by Joe Willock. It really was. He's got that desire. He's such a rangy midfielder with the long legs, and he does well. He gets away from Romeu, holds him off, then Bednarek comes across. For me, Willock just flicks it around him. It wasn't a huge amount, but I think there's a little bit of contact to stop Willock from getting through. Yeah, just a little flick. Yeah, he doesn't want to obviously completely take the man out, but at the same time, he knows what he's doing, and he is trying to make sure that counter-attack is stopped. Willock, of course, scoring a beautiful goal on the counter-attack for Newcastle away at Brentford a few weeks ago. Him and Joe Linton combining very well there. But a free kick to Newcastle now on the left-hand side. It's closer to the halfway line than it is to the penalty area, but it's a good long ball in from Target, which drops to Cher, who couldn't control it inside, just at the edge of the penalty area. And it's a shame because there were men over in the box as well. That was a really good chance there for Newcastle. I mean, Cher, he's all alone at the far post. Tries to control it. Maybe the easy thing would have been just to try and volley it first time back across into the, back into around the penalty spot area, because it is difficult to bring those balls down there if you don't get it completely right. And he didn't, and unfortunately for Newcastle, that chance goes as Southampton decide to switch things up. And they've not changed formation, but they've made a like-for-like change. They have indeed, yeah. So it's Armando Broha is off, and Adam Armstrong is on in his place. Let's hope that Stuart Armstrong doesn't pass the ball to him too often, otherwise the commentator might have a bit of an issue with that. But still limping when he went off. Yeah, there is a bit of a problem there for Broha. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, because he has had a good season. But Armstrong, who had some promising moments at the start of the season, just fallen away from the team a little bit recently. This is a good chance for him to have nearly 20 minutes on the field now as Southampton look to try and get back into the game, as Livramento finds Stuart Armstrong. Plays the ball forward, straight to Adam Armstrong, so they're not listening to my request at all. And now the ball given away in the end as Longstaff gets a touch of the ball, playing it back towards Dubravka. But look at this, Southampton are pressing higher up the field, and Longstaff has to slide in just to get that ball away, but he can only find Stuart Armstrong. Armstrong now over towards Ward-Prowse on the right-hand side. Fires the ball down the right here, looking for Adam Armstrong. That's a great turn as well. And he tries a curling effort. He's claiming a corner kick, but that's more out of hope than conviction, in my opinion. Didn't look like it got any kind of deflection at all. Just never got the curl on it in the end.
Yeah, never got the curl, but not a bad little introduction for Armstrong there. Byrne came across and just... The first time Burns really got out of position, actually, when he's pushed out of defence trying to get in and win a tackle. He's just got it all wrong. But yeah, Armstrong didn't get the curl on that one. Only 2 goals this season in the Premier League, Armstrong, with the last coming on November the 5th. So he's, like you said, he's been out of the side, hasn't been able to break in really ahead of Brohower and Adams, but a chance maybe to show what he can do.
Yeah, has to try and take his chances here, because Southampton, barring this game here where they're losing and their last defeat, they have actually looked good recently, as Willock does really well. Wins the ball back for Newcastle, then slips just at the inopportune moment, but still just about keeps the ball alive. Longstaff helps him out, and now it's with Murphy down the right-hand side. Murphy gets to the edge of the area. Stops, almost didn't know what to do with it, leaves it for Kraft, who's crossed his charge down, but the pace of the attack has gone there now.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointed for Murphy there. When he had it on the edge of the box, and you think, well, either cross it or take on your man, but he just stopped and was just waiting for support. Yeah, like you said, it was just had no idea really what to do in that moment.
Disappointing there in the end, but a throw on to Newcastle. It is with Emil Kraft. He's got options close. It's with Jacob Murphy. That's where the ball has gone. Murphy tries to cross it first time. A little bit too easy, really. Romeo was able to see through that, and he's able to deflect that out for another throw to Newcastle down the right-hand side into the last 15 minutes of this game. It is still Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Independent off-tube studio commentary with myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and James Mason. Kraft now still waiting for options, tries the longer throw into the box. It just gets away from Willock, but he's still able to get it under his control. Then it fortuitously deflects towards Murphy. Wouldn't sit up for him to get the volley away. It's cleared up towards the halfway line, where Fabian Schär fires a header from the halfway line all the way back into the Southampton box, but that's into the arms of Fraser Forster.
And that was no nonsense. That was... Maybe another defender would have thought, I'll bring this down, but he thought, no, I'm not giving myself the opportunity to mess this up control. Let's just head this one back and just basically put Southampton under a little bit of pressure.
And a long clearance there headed on, but straight into Newcastle possession. Ball played down the right-hand side. It's a pity, really, that Fraser was still in an offside position, because that ball would have been ideal for him, but he was clearly offside. But Southampton making an absolute mess of clearing this, and now it's an easy run here as Murphy gets away from Salisu. He puts a cross in, which is away from Longstaff. There were 3 other players in there. Great challenge, though, from Matt Targett to win the ball back, and now Fraser tries an effort, and his curling effort in the end pretty much curls just straight down the middle, and it's a standing save for Fraser Forster. Yeah,
too easy for Forster, but there, Southampton, poor playing out from the back. It was Forster who was guilty there. Murphy's ball to Longstaff just wasn't good enough, but then Targett puts in a crucial interception for me, or tackle anyway, because if he doesn't make it, Southampton are breaking with numbers. Yeah, Fraser's shot on the end just wasn't good enough, but again, it's nearly moments there for Newcastle, not quite happening for them, but still 2-1 ahead.
Still 2-1 ahead, and here comes Southampton now with Stuart Armstrong trying to flick a ball in towards Che Adams, headed away, but now it's Adam Armstrong with the header going back towards Livramento. Ward-Prowse to Livramento, under pressure there from Longstaff. The ball on the halfway line now with Jan Bednarek. Switches play over towards Kyle Walker-Peters. It's a great ball, taken down well by Walker-Peters as well. Had a lot of time, and he leaves the ball now for Elianusi. Elianusi to Romeu. Good work there from Willock. He really is everywhere this evening for Newcastle. But now Walker-Peters having to go back towards Salisu. Now Bednarek in towards Ward-Prowse, about 35 yards out from goal. Livramento now down the right-hand side, been stood up here by Ryan Fraser. Goes back to Stuart Armstrong. Now Adam Armstrong back to Stuart Armstrong. It's with Ward-Prowse. He hasn't got the space for the shot. He tries to flick it into Livramento, who puts a cross in. That ends up being a shot, and it needed Dubravka to be alert on his line there. I'm going to say that Livramento was crossing, and he just got a bit too much of an angle on it. But in the end, it's a really good save there from Dubravka.
Yeah, nearly got fortunate. He's definitely trying to whip his right foot around that, isn't he, and deliver it towards the far post, but just sort of comes off his right toe. Yeah, nearly catches Dubravka out. He's had to be aware that the goalkeeper does well in the end.
He does. It's a good save from Dubravka, and second attacking changer for Southampton as Shane Long comes on for Oriol Romeu. So that's a bit of a surprise. I can understand, of course, that Southampton are trying to load up with attacking players, but my question would be, Romeu seems to be the busiest midfielder for Southampton this evening.
He's the busiest one. He's winning the ball well. He's getting things going for them, taking them off. Takes out a presence in there as well.
I think it might well do, but the corner kick comes in and it's straight onto the head of Salisu, who gets his header on target, but he doesn't get much power behind it. So in the end, it's a comfortable save for Dubravka.
Yeah, comfortable in the end. There was the moment he thought it was Dubravka potentially unsighted there with a few players in the way, but yeah, he was always comfortable with that with the Newcastle keeper and just make sure it's still 1-2.
Yeah, the Jesse March revolution's not getting a good start at Ellen Road. It's now Leeds United 0, Aston Villa 2. Matt Cash with the goal there for Villa. That game is 15 minutes behind the others, so still just under half an hour there for Leeds, but it's not looking good so far.
Get home before that game's ended. That's what I'll be thinking.
Absolutely, yeah. But both of our journeys home actually.
You don't want the fans to be leaving too soon from Ellen Road.
Absolutely, yeah. But where we're based, actually, both of us have to sort of navigate around Ellen Road to try and get home. So when it's a match day, we always do have to bear that in mind. The off-tube pictures that we're getting here in our studio. 79 minutes gone. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 2. And Southampton just starting to look a little bit better here, just starting to push back at Newcastle. It's important here for Eddie Howe's side not to go into that sort of frame of mind where they're just going to be sat back waiting for the end of the game. They've got to try and push forward as well. But almost every team naturally starts to sit back when they have a lead late on.
They do. I think, Newcastle, they have done this a few times, I think, but they've been better in recent matches. I think with that winning momentum, that they're more confident in themselves that they can defend. And I think, Dan Burn in there has been a big part of that, but also Newcastle have got a bit of pace on the counter-attack, so they could, potentially at Southampton on that. Fraser, Murphy, just got to try and keep it simple. No silly errors, no playing around with it at the back. Southampton are trying as much as they can. But, they've gone for it with Long, Armstrong and Adams all on now.
They have. The question is whether they've got enough people to actually get the service to those three forwards. That's the issue.
If you're Newcastle, all you do is you get someone to stick on Ward-Prowse and you say, mark him.
Yeah, stick on Ward-Prowse and make sure that Elyounoussi and Stuart Armstrong haven't got too much space to get forward, and that could be that whole midfield sewn up. But Newcastle's attack just stopped at the edge of the area. Now it's a good run here from Walker-Peters to bring the ball out from trouble. He rolls it over towards the left-hand side. Elyounoussi then finds Adam Armstrong. Armstrong back to Walker-Peters. Inside now to James Ward-Prowse. Finds Stuart Armstrong. Back to Ward-Prowse again. Kevin Friend almost getting in his way there, but Southampton still keeping the ball forward, moving it towards the left-hand edge of the penalty area. It's Ward-Prowse now, inside towards Adam Armstrong. He drops a shoulder, puts a cross in, but it's Emil Kraft in the right place at the right time, and it deflects off the Swedish international out for a corner.
Yeah, really good turn of pace and footwork there from Armstrong to completely do Kraft. I think Kraft's had quite a tough time this evening with the players running at him. Walker-Peters, now Armstrong on that side, but it gives the set piece chance for the Saints.
I still can't make up my mind. I'll come back to that in a second, because the corner kick comes in. There's a bit of a fall in the box, but Kevin Friend's not interested. No free kick or penalty either way. I still can't work out whether I think Kraft is a good defender or not. I think that he's a good player, but whether or not he's got strong enough defensive qualities.
I would say no. I think part of a back five or a wing back, he might be better, but when he's got one side of the defence to try and hold, he's not too good.
I think that sometimes he can just be a little bit exposed. I do remember poor old DeAndre Yedlin was a real fly in the ointment for Alan Shearer, wasn't he? He couldn't say. He was always highlighting the fact that the American perhaps was a better winger than he was a defender. But the last few minutes, Southampton enjoying the lion's share of possession, but not really doing too much to trouble Martin Dubravka, as Shea Adams then finds Elyounoussi. Good challenge there, great challenge from Dan Burn. Ball kept alive though here by Livramento, goes back towards Bednarek, and now it's with Stuart Armstrong. He's got Walker-Peters out on the left-hand side. That's where the ball has gone. He's got two players in front of him, Walker-Peters. He skips away from Jacob Murphy, wants an overlap. Stuart Armstrong's there, chooses to ignore him and goes in towards Adam Armstrong. Now it's with Walker-Peters again. He runs straight into Jacob Murphy. That's he gets a bit of luck there. There's Chris Wood. Almost forgot he was on the pitch at one point here, Chris Wood. He's virtually been anonymous in the second half.
Just thinking that, I was like, he's not really getting the service towards him. He's been being a willing runner for Newcastle, but apart from that, he's been a bit of a passenger in the second half. But again, he got his goal in his first half, which could be big.
Yeah, it's a big win, by the way, for Wolves. They're wrapping things up, putting the icing on the cake. They're now 4-0 up against Watford, with Ruben Neves getting the fourth goal.
Be about a quarter of Wolves' goals this season in one game.
They haven't been getting too many goals, although I have to say that after a slow start under Bruno Lage, I think that they have certainly found their identity a little bit more. And they've had I did commentary of their game winning away at Spurs, and they were excellent in that game. As we're getting a substitution here for Newcastle, and it's a player that the fans like. It's a player that always puts 100% in, but he just can't get goals and assists. It's Miguel Almiron.
Yeah, he's a great runner, isn't he? I would suggest this will be for Jacob Murphy or Fraser. I would say Murphy because he's yellow carded, but Fraser has put a bit of a workload in as well.
Yeah, 551 completed passes from Southampton in this game, 259 from Newcastle, so less than half. But it's the side with less possession in the second half and less passes that still lead here 2-1 with 6 minutes plus injury time to go. Southampton now with James Ward-Prowse inside the centre circle. Lovely diagonal ball to find Walker-Peters, and he's bursting into the penalty area under pressure from Jacob Murphy and Kraft. He sort of runs in between the two of them, but loses the ball in the process, and it's cleared away for a throw, but it's back by the halfway line.
Yeah, good defending there. I think Murphy, he shows Walker-Peters down the line, which is where he wants to go. It's his less stronger foot with his on his left side, which is his weaker foot, and yeah, they did just enough in the end to put a sort of a double block in with Kraft as well.
Well, it's Ryan Fraser. We both thought it could be Jacob Murphy with his yellow card. That said, Murphy has been more involved in the game, I think, today. He's looked perhaps a little bit sharper than Fraser, who, a little bit like Wood, has just got a little bit AWOL in the second half.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, again, it's just the fact that Newcastle, since they got the second goal, they haven't really attacked, have they? So I think Fraser and Wood become a bit non-existent. Murphy's at least sort of bombing up down that right side. Almiron, come on, we know what he does. He works hard, which is what Eddie Howe wants.
Yeah, also a change for Southampton there very quickly. Musa Djenepo is on for Mohamed Elanusi. So it's, Djenepo, I wouldn't exactly put him down in the defensive midfield category, but he's a little bit more solid than Elanusi is, just to try and fill that midfield a little bit more, give them perhaps another option of getting forward.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit more agility on him, Djenepo, or just a touch more pace, and a little more flair, I'd say, than Elanusi, but it's just fresh legs. It's someone to have a run at this Newcastle defence, which you mentioned before, since Newcastle went 2-1 up, Dubravka's not really had anything to do.
No, he's not. He's got a couple of easy saves, but certainly, and that one cross from Livramento, the cross-come shot where he almost got caught out, but that was more fortuitous. Certainly nothing in terms of sustained pressure. Free kick there to Newcastle, although Kyle Walker-Peters can't believe it.
Well, Shelvey, I think, does a really good challenge on him. He picks Walker-Peters' pocket, he doesn't know he's there. Walker-Peters falls down and then grabs the ball on the floor to suggest it's my free kick. Surely that's a yellow card for Walker-Peters.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But certainly the yellow cards have been a little bit more difficult to get this season. Some officials are still quick to hand them out, but it does seem as though in games where there hasn't been a yellow card for a while, referees are almost trying to reduce the amount of cards they give out. But a long ball played towards the edge of the area, headed down by Chris Wood. Almiron now with a touch in towards the Matt Target. Bit of pinball off Target's cross. Hits off Adams and Livramento, but it's out for a Newcastle corner.
Yeah, exactly where Newcastle want to be is having a corner in Southampton's half. I mean, Almiron, when you look at him when he's running, you just think to yourself, be calm, just calm, take a breath. But his head's going up and down all the time, and his legs are wiggling around, and you think, just calm, take a breath. But he just seems to want to do so much with his legs, but his head's not catching up.
Yeah, Callum Chambers, by the way, makes it Leeds United 0, Aston Villa 3. So going from bad to worse at Ellen Road as this corner kick for Newcastle whipped in, but headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box. Ball now back on the halfway line, where it's played over towards Dan Burn, who'd stayed up after the corner. Burn then catches Walker-Peters. And I mentioned that there aren't too many yellow cards in this game, and it looks like he's got away with that, Dan Burn. It was maybe just because he is such a tall player, it looked worse from a distance than what it was.
That looked for me as if he catches Walker-Peters quite high up on his... Well, actually, no.
He's turning his foot away. In fairness, he is actually trying to avoid that contact. Yeah,
he gets a touch of the ball.
If anyone saw the red card that De Silva got for Brentford against Newcastle, that's a similar sort of thing, although De Silva never got a chance to actually roll his foot away. He just ended up getting what in the end proved to be a pretty straightforward red card. But here come Southampton now. Gineppo trying to twist away from Kraft, gets into the box. That's good challenge though there from Gineppo. From Kraft, I should say, who's got cramp, but he's got enough power in his leg to still roll back onto the field before showing that he's been injured.
Yeah, clever work, you would say, from from Emil Kraft. So they have to stop the play, but yeah, he's been ran out quite a lot, hasn't he? I have to say, he puts a good block in, he gets back, but what would worry me about Kraft is the amount of times he's actually been beaten in this game. That's
got to be a worry as well. As we said, his defensive qualities are probably where he lets himself down. He's certainly a very good player on the ball. Southampton take a corner kick which is cleared towards the edge of the area. Ward-Prowse and Walker-Peters exchanging passes now. And Walker-Peters pumps the ball in towards the 6-yard box. Salisa with the header down. What a great save that is by Dubravka. Just pushing the ball along the line, then counting on a teammate to get the clearance in, which they do. But Southampton very close indeed to getting an equaliser there.
Yeah, really good play. It's the first time Dan Burn has just got out of position there. Salisu behind him, but I tell you what, it's such a good save by Dubravka. I mean, all he can do is make that save. He claws it off his line, and he's just hoping at that point, the Newcastle keeper, that he has a teammate there to clear it away, and there was. So, yeah, Newcastle are living it a little bit dangerously, but not long to go to try and hold on to it for them.
Seconds away now until we see the fourth officials board. Graham Scott, our fourth official, will confirm how much injury time there is. I don't think there'll be too much. I think the standard 3 or 4. I don't think it'd be any more than that, as a Newcastle player is down, but we play on, and it's Gineppo breaking into the box. His cross is stopped there by Fabian Schär. It's away for a corner kick. There's still a Newcastle man down just at the edge of the penalty area. Is this Emil Kraft again?
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, at the minute, Newcastle are all over the place at the back. They're just throwing in challenges, blocks. They're doing as much as they can at the moment to try and keep Southampton out. Hasenhüttl is furious. I think he's thinking the Newcastle players are going down a bit too much at the moment. And
yeah, I mean, this, I have to say, if we've got a moment to speak about this because Kraft is down, we're not going to get any play. It does frustrate me how managers, players, even fans get frustrated at opposition teams that waste time. Is there a team in the Premier League that doesn't waste time? Every team does it. I've made the point before that it's quite ironic how top professional footballers actually spend quite a lot of time on the pitch avoiding playing football, but that's just the way it is. And certainly, you know, if football was ever brave enough to introduce a stop clock, you would see a completely different attitude from players, but I don't think that would ever happen because it would just mean that games would take 15-20 minutes long every time. Meantime, we're into 6 minutes of injury time here, James.
6 minutes, yeah, seems like Newcastle
going
to make another change.
Mm.
No, you could have maybe stretched it to 4, I thought. I don't think there's been massive amount of stoppages, but I mean, I suppose Emil Kraft's down on the floor now. He's had a couple of times on the floor. Bruno Guimarães was down for Bosnia before he got subbed. I mean, it's still a long way. I mean, we've had nearly a minute of this 6 added on with no play, so we're probably going to be going to about 97.
Yeah, we certainly could be, as Kraft is off the field for the time being. And I think it is going to be confirmed now. Substitution, Emil Kraft is off, and Spanish right back Javi Manquillo is on in his place. So that's all 3 substitutions now used by both managers. So unless there's a concussion injury, won't see any more changes. And we've still got around 5 minutes of the injury time to play. And this Newcastle lead, it looks solid, I would say. I mean, it's not as if they're under constant pressure, but things are just starting to build up. We've had 16 corner kicks in the game as well. This is Southampton's 11th. Newcastle have had 5, and it's going to be Ward-Prowse. Puts a lot of pace into that. It's almost like he's trying to shoot from that corner himself, but it's an easy save in the end for Dubravka.
Yeah, really good take by Dubravka. It's strong, it's composed, and it's what you want. It's just to have a good solid take in there, which is what he does. But yeah, Newcastle at the minute, I wouldn't say holding on, but they're inviting pressure, which if you do that, it could be a dangerous scenario.
Certainly could. It could be a situation. We mentioned this before, but all teams have a knack of sitting back. I think it'll be a brave manager that could psychologically encourage his players to attack when they're 2-1 up away from home with 3 or 4 minutes to go. But funnily enough, that could actually be a good tactic because it would really throw the opposition. But it's always that, risks element. If you have a lead, conserve that lead. But now Newcastle have found a bit of possession in the Southampton half, so not necessarily compounded to go forward, but at least it means they can hold on to the ball and just slow things down on them. Just as I say that, making a little bit of a mess of it on the halfway line. Ball eventually going out for a throw. But frustration for Hasenhüttl. His side were well beaten at the weekend, and I wouldn't say they were well beaten tonight, but too many spells for a home team, too many spells where they weren't dominant.
Yeah, I think they've had a lot of possession, but it's just not done enough with that possession. And one side of it, you've got to give credit to Newcastle's defence because, not just the defenders but the midfielders, everyone's got blocks in and, put a foot in at the right time, been in the right position. Dubravka's made a couple of good saves. But Southampton just haven't shown enough creativity for me. They haven't got the ball to James Ward-Prowse enough, and that's quite a key figure. If you can nullify the threat of Ward-Prowse, then you take away quite a bit from the Southampton midfield.
I think so. I think Ward-Prowse has been such a huge player for Southampton. I think he actually got his debut under Harry Redknapp, if you can believe how many years ago that was. It was as I say, it's a rare breed these days, a one-club man, but you think that Ward-Prowse probably will see out his playing days at Southampton. Free kick to Newcastle, just at the edge of the centre circle. Fabian Schär pumping a long ball forward now, which is left by Chris Wood, left here for Miguel Almiron. 3 Southampton players around it, but he does well to find John Joe Shelvey. He drops the shoulder and gets towards the edge of the area, finds Almiron again. Bit of space here, he runs straight into Tino Livramento, who not only dispossesses his man, but is able to clear it upfield. Longstaff's header drops straight to Shea Adams, and now a chance for Southampton to get forward. It's all over, by the way, at Carrow Road. It's finished Norwich 1, Chelsea 3, and it's all over at Molineux. Wolves 4, Watford 0 is a full-time score. We've got about 2 minutes left in this game as Southampton now on the attack. Cross coming in from the left is only partially cleared. Kept alive here by Stuart Armstrong. Goes back to Livramento. Armstrong again outside of the boot to Livramento. He breaks into the 6-yard box. Taken down by Shea Adams, who tries to get a shot away, but it's that man, Dan Burn, once again just dives across and makes it just a little bit more difficult for Adams. Yeah,
and I think Dan Burn as well gets straight to his feet and he praises Joe Willock then. Yeah, it's Willock who's got the block in. It's superb. Dan Burn he's actually got beaten by Adams, but it's Willock who's got in there, put a really good left leg in, and he stopped that ball from going in the back of the net.
So going to be one of the first on the team sheet now, hasn't he, Joe Willock, the way he's played in the last 5 or 6 games for Newcastle?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a man of the match in this game for me. I mean, Guimarães is finished, but for me it's Dan Burn or Joe Willock, I think. They're both
I would agree.
Superb.
I think that Dan Burns put in a really good shift at centre-back for Newcastle, and Joe Willock carrying on with the excellent form he's had in the last month or so, as the ball now hoisted up in the air. Still time here for Southampton to try and get forward, but it's Newcastle in possession. Matt Targett wanted that to go out of play, but he was being closed down, clears it long over the head of Joe Willock. Bednarik then heads it down for Ward-Prowse. Livramento back to Ward-Prowse. Pushing forward now, and last chance saloon really for Southampton. It can only be seconds on the clock here as the ball is now with Gineppo down the left-hand side. Looks up, finds Walker Peters. I thought about having a shot, didn't have enough space to do that, goes back towards Bednarik, and then Bednarik finds Stuart Armstrong. He's getting away from Armstrong tries an effort, he just got away from Sean Longstaff. He is a 2-footed midfielder, Armstrong. You have to remember he can shoot with his left or his right, and on this occasion an absolutely fizzing effort with the left foot, slight deflection and over the bar.
Great tip over by Dubravka there, had to watch it all the way, but it's a really good hit from Armstrong. Like you said, left foot, right foot, catches it superbly.
Outswinger here towards the back post, headed up in the air. The referee has spotted a push inside the penalty area as well as Kevin Friend. So I don't think that'll be the end of that as far as this Southampton move, and that may well be it as far as the game as well. Frustration there for Hasan Hoodley. He knows that his side probably just haven't done enough to test Newcastle in the second half.
Yeah, I think based on clear-cut chances that will be where Hasan Hoodley is disappointed with, because Southampton have, they had the fizzer there from Armstrong, but at some distance. They had the Salisu header, which was a really good save by Dubravka. Livramento's cross shot, you can't really call that a clear-cut one. It's just not enough sort of clear sights at goal for them.
Not enough clear sights, and a long clearance now down the middle of the field there from Dubravka. Referee still playing on. We've gone way over the 6 minutes of injury time now as Willock breaks into the box. Bednarik then dispossesses him, and that will be it for this game at St Mary's. A big win for Newcastle on the south coast. It's finished at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 2. From myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and James Mason, thank you very much. Join us again soon.